watching the game last night, and the Raiders jumped out. They were up 14-0. As I mentioned yesterday, the odds for scoring the first touchdown, the best odds were Devontae Adams. And all of a sudden, Devontae goes deep, and it's quickly 7-0. Then it's 14-0. And then it could have been 21-0. And it's one of those moments where you go, man, do you go for it? 4th and 1, do you go for it? And I think it's around the 38-yard line. And Troy Aikman even said at the time, I don't know, might have to step on their necks. Kansas City is not afraid of a deficit. No team wants to be in that position. But if you say of all the teams in the NFL who have mastered coming back from double digits, it's Kansas City. They're just, it doesn't change them. And that's what's interesting, because you'll see teams sometimes they're down 14, then they start to do things that they don't normally do. Kansas City, it's, hey, all right, we're down 14, or we're down 17. We're okay. You know, when you outscore them 24-3 after that, you know, that's a big deal. And that's what Kansas City was able to do last night. And Travis Kelce, he didn't have to travel too far to get all those touchdowns. The last tight end to score 4 touchdowns in a game. I'll give you the team and I'll give you the year. 1985, and he played for the Buccaneers.
Buccaneers,
1985, 4 touchdowns in a game against the Dolphins. Anybody want to guess? All the great Buccaneer tight ends prior to Gronk. Yes, Paulie?
Giles?
Jimmy Giles. Bloop, bloop. Yep.
I didn't have the Jimmy part.
No. Jimmy Giles against the Dolphins. And he had 25 scrimmage yards. That's the fewest by any player with 4 or more scrimmage touchdowns. The previous low was 60 by Danny Woodhead when he scored 4 touchdowns in 2015. So Kelce had 4 touchdowns, 25 scrimmage yards. Pretty amazing. There were a couple of times where you're questioning what the Raiders are doing and Josh McDaniels and what he's doing. And I wondered about this when they had a chance to go for the tie, and there's 4:27, I think, to go. And I'm thinking, why not go for the tie? Because you're going to get beat on a field goal no matter what. So at least if you tie, now you can play with the clock a little bit, may get a chance to get the ball back if you hold them to a field goal. And also, if not and nobody scores and you go into overtime. So at the time, I thought I wouldn't go for that. It didn't feel like, and maybe the Raiders thought, well, Kansas City is really rolling, and Josh McDaniels saying, you know what, we got to go for this, got to go for 2. But in the moment, I thought, I didn't agree with it because a field goal is going to beat you no matter what. And Mahomes, so let's say it's 30-29, then Mahomes needs 2 first downs, maybe 3, and then the game's over. This way, they're going to go and try to kick a field goal at worst. All right, they're going to bleed the clock, but you might get another chance. And if they happen to miss the field goal, you're going into overtime. Here is Josh McDaniels, the Raiders head coach, on going for 2 instead of 1.
We had a play that we felt really good about. We thought we would get a look that gave us a shot at it for sure. We had a chance. We had a fair fight at it. They played it a little bit better than we did and gave ourselves an opportunity to take the lead there and then maybe put a little extra pressure on them when they had the ball. Nothing more, nothing less. Just trying to be aggressive, trying to win the game.
And I get that. I mean, the coach knows his team and what, is going to work best. It didn't work out. And if it did work out, I still didn't like it from the standpoint of there's so much time left. It's Mahomes. They seem to be on a roll, and all they need is a field goal now. This way, at least I might get the ball back, and worst case scenario, maybe they don't score. Maybe we don't score and we go into overtime, and then maybe we have a chance. But they went out. They started great, started fast. They ran the football. They did all the right things. And then all of a sudden, Patrick Mahomes and Kelce and the Chiefs' defense did what they needed to do. And now you get to the controversy. You can't say you weren't warned by me. Because I told you last week, a source said, get ready for the overreaction, the overcorrection. This is going to happen. And my source said, understand this. The NFL is about entertainment. The NFL Players Association is about keeping the players healthy who are the entertainment. And he said, their job is they're going to protect those players the best they can. They're not worried about who's the quarterback this week. Oh, it's a marquee matchup and you got, Stidham against Henne. That's not what the Players Association cares about. The networks, they want marquee players. They want the quarterbacks there. They want them available. Whatever it takes, make sure that those guys are going to be playing every Sunday or Monday or Thursday because it's about entertainment. And I think we look at it as, well, those are players and their health and their safety. And from what I was told, my source said, this is about entertainment. The NFL is about entertainment. And therefore, protect those quarterbacks because those are the people you tune in to see. So we did have an overreaction with what happened with Tua. And I did wonder this. Let's say the Dolphins and the independent neurologist did their job. And when Tua came off the field, stumbling, if they did their job and said, you know what, doesn't pass the eye test, we can't send him out there. Would we be in this position right now? And the answer is no, we would not. This is what happens. One play, overreaction. That's what happens in the NFL. Down through the years. Remember when Brady got hit? Who was that, Pollard? Bernard Pollard hit him. Brady's out for the year. Now all of a sudden you can't go low. Complete the process. Calvin Johnson. Change football. And that's what you have in a situation like this. They are not going to record sacks anymore. They're going to be hugs. And you had hugs last night. And that's what's going to happen. Hugs. Because you can't tackle somebody. And if you weigh 300 pounds like Chris Jones does, what do you do with Derek Carr? You sacked him. You stripped the ball. Who cares if you land on him? You sacked him, stripped the ball, and now he's not a quarterback. But now you're going to protect him? See, that's tricky. They need to be protected sometimes from themselves. But if you're a defensive player, and I've used this word before many, many times, they have neutered defenses. They don't know what to do. Remember when pass interference and they're going to call it? Yep, we're going to call it. And they were calling it. It was crazy. We're going to call it. But these defensive players are like, well, where do I hit you? You're allowed to lower your helmet, but I can't. Wait, what happens? I got a small strike zone. If I get to you, can I hit you? Where do I hit you? How hard can I hit you? Can I land on you? Can I sling you to the ground? I mean, imagine how quick this game moves. And TV does not do it justice. When you're on the sidelines and you're watching in real time, and you're going to be thinking as you get to one of these quarterbacks, well, wait, I would just hold on to him. And there's going to be a moment this season, maybe in the postseason, where somebody holds on to a quarterback and he escapes. Right? Max Crosby did this to Mahomes last night. You just held him. I'm just going to hold on and let's dance. This is like the Pro Bowl. But it's for quarterbacks. Let me just hug you. So when somebody says, oh, how many sacks did you have? No, we don't use that word. We had 2.5 hugs last night. But that's where we're headed. It's an overreaction. It's an overcorrection. And unfortunately, we saw it coming, or at least we should have seen it coming. Here's Chris Jones on the sack on Derek Carr.
Hey, listen, this is a Christian-like league, man. I'm going to pray that I stay off the quarterback, okay? I'm going to have to pick him up and carry him, lay him down nowadays, man, you know? But, you know, the ref, I get it. It happened so fast, you know, and it kind of looked like that initially, but when you actually look at through the video and slow it down, you see how kind of braced. And the ref might have seen just a big 300-pound land on him, man. I get it. Not saying the ref is wrong, but I'm just saying that those situations can affect the game tremendously.
And Andy Reid was asked about it, and Andy said, I don't want to touch this. I don't want to get in trouble. Andy Reid?
Oh, I mean, I thought he had the ball, so I mean that's what I thought. But that's their job, so they do that.
He don't want to get fined. This program brought to you by Panini America, the hottest rookies, biggest superstars, the all-time greats. The one place to collect them all, Panini Trading Cards, the official trading cards of the DP Show. Instant classics, autographed cards, memorabilia cards, rare inserts, and more. Start or continue your collection now, PaniniAmerica.net. We'll talk to Eli Manning. Eli will join us in about 10 minutes from now. Seton poll question today. By the way, stat of the day, poll question, play of the day, all of that forthcoming. Say good morning if you're watching on Peacock, our streaming partner, those chatting on Chat Row, and our radio affiliates around the country.
It's funny how the tone of those sound bites, by the way, they change when you win. Hey, look, refs are doing the best job they can, okay? It's sometimes maybe they thought they saw one thing, but hey, it's difficult. They're trying to get it right, but oh well.
Yeah, when you win, you're like, come on, I'm a big man. What am I supposed to do?
I mean, hey, I'm 350 pounds, okay?
Yeah.
I'm trying to do my best. Maybe they just didn't see that I was bracing it, but it's okay. You know, we move on. If they had lost, you know, if that was a play that had kept the drive going or something like that, they would have been going nuts.
I'm worried we're going to get late in the season, postseason, and we're going to have something tainted by a call like this. It's almost like the officials say, all right, you want us to call it, we're going to call it. And then there's no replay with this. And then they don't judge intent. Now, Troy Aikman said that last night. The officials said they don't judge intent. What's the poll question there, Steve?
But you can't judge intent, though, right?
No, I think it's difficult to do that. I do.